Hey y'all, so quick testimony. I'm so excited. Y'all, let me tell you something. The Lord has been good to me this year. You hear what I'm saying? Like good. And I don't even mean just with like monetary stuff or like tangible stuff. I just mean just good, just like what he has been doing in my life. So anyway, um, I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible. But my daughter is in college, right? And last year, we were a little bit worried that she wouldn't be able to register for school because, well, it's not so much registering for school, but that she will be able to stay on campus because we just didn't have enough between the financial aid and everything else. It just wasn't enough to cover the housing part of it. So we were just, a little bit afraid that, she was like just worried and down and out about it because it's like, I really want to stay on campus. And I understand that, I want her to too, just to get that experience. So, we went, so this was like maybe like a week before moving when she was supposed to be moving into her apartments there. And we went to the school, and it was her idea. This wasn't my idea. This was her idea. Well, let's just go up to the school just to see, what's going to happen. So this was around the time when they was doing like mass registration. Everybody was out, certain tables and everything set up. So we went to financial aid. We spoke to one of the guys and, just kind of explained the situation, what the dilemma was, and, hey, we need X amount of dollars. Do you guys have any more funds? Basically. He was like, hold on, give me 1 second. Walked away, came back and was like, oh, it's good. She can go ahead and move in. And so we looking like, wait a minute, what? Say that again? Like totally just lost. Like what? Like what? And he was like, everything is good. Like her schooling is paid for the year. Like she's good. She can move in. And we're like, I just couldn't believe it. I was so excited, so happy. So was she, and just thanking God for that. So then this year come around, fall 2022, school year 23. And, we go and try to get everything straight. And guess what? They're like, there's a problem. She owes a $3,700 balance. Okay, whoa. What do you mean she owe a $3,700 balance? And they was like, yeah, her housing, she owed that balance to housing. And I'm like, well, no. We were told that all of that was taken care of because had I had known, we would have been fixed that last year. But we were told all of that was taken care of. And she was like, no, unfortunately, no, it wasn't enough. And I said, well, what about the CARES Act grant? Because then we found out that she was awarded the grant. So I'm like, well, what about the CARES? Like, why didn't the CARES Act take care of it like we were told? And she was like, well, the CARES Act was only for the fall. It wasn't for the spring. And I'm like, well, that's not what, no. I was like, like we were told everything was taken care of. Like I'm upset, my daughter upset, and I'm just like, no, we were told everything was taken care of. So long story short, she couldn't register for this semester because she needed that money and I didn't have it to give to her. I'm just being honest. I didn't have it to give to her. And so we're just like, so I'm just trying to encourage her, like just telling her like, just have faith. Like this thing gonna work out. It has to work out because God blessed you to be able to go to school. So that balance should not be there. And we're not paying $3,700. It will be taken care of, So I'm just like, so she had to go to the school today for something to take care of something. And so we were just like, which involved financial aid. So we went to the financial aid office and, the guy, he wasn't really kind to us, put it like that. Like he was kind of sassy. He wasn't the person that I wanted to speak to. He wasn't the one that could help us because his response was basically just like, so what do you need? I mean, you owe the balance. You either pay it or get a loan. Okay, all right. So we went over to student accounts because the reason why we went to the school because we needed some documentation for something. So we went over to student accounts and, she could barely talk because she choked up almost in tears, so much anger and frustration with the guy. So I had to kind of like talk for her. And, the lady from student accounts was like, unfortunately, it's nothing that we can do. Like we can't just, you know. So she offered, so she was like, well, if I was you guys, I would go over to the housing unit, the housing, and I would talk to, them over there to see if it's something that they can do. Maybe they can work out a payment arrangement with you guys and take the balance off of her bill. So we're like, okay, but at this point, like, I'm standing there and I'm just thinking in my mind, like, God, this can't be. Like, we cannot leave the school and nothing be done. So we go over to the housing unit, and we talked to first we were greeted by another worker. And, she was just kind of saying the same thing. And then the director came out because I guess he must have heard us. And she was just like, unfortunately, like, no, like, we can't set up a payment arrangement for that. And so the lady, the young lady was just like, well, telling the guy, well, can you call over to financial aid, just to kind of see if it's something that can be done, can you take them in your office and just call over to financial aid, right? So I'm thinking like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. See, I need somebody that can get something done. So he called financial aid. And he called I don't know if she's the director or the assistant director, but he called over there to her, was explaining the situation. And she was like, well, no, the CARES Act does cover for the entire school year. However, for the fall, it covered everybody. Everybody could get it. It didn't matter, it didn't matter what your balance was. Everybody could get it. But for the spring, they were only covering balances that was below, $3,000 or below. And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, we didn't know that, because had we had known that, we would have made sure that she could get the grant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know that. She didn't know that. And so she was like, well, if she can get the balance till about 3,000 or a little bit below, then I'll go hit on and I'll submit for that grant to cover, the rest of it or whatever. So I'm just like, so after we got finished talking to, him about other things, and then he was like, well, if I was y'all, I would go over there and talk to her just to kind of, confirm that this is really what it is. And, so we went over there, and we were waiting to talk to her. And of course, the guy that helped us at first, like, y'all, he seemed like he was just a little bit upset, but I don't care. And the only reason why I could think maybe he might have been a little bit upset or agitated, whatever, because sometimes, like, when somebody tells you no, and then it's like somebody turns around and say, well, yeah, something can be done, people be feeling some type of way about that. So that's just the only thing that I could think. I don't know, but I'm just like, I'm saying, like, he better stop playing with us. Like, stop playing. So we went and we talked to, the lady, the director, and, she just kind of reiterated. And then she was like giving us other, tips, like things like, yeah, the school offers scholarships too. Well, we didn't know that. And so she told us, like, when the application opens, when to apply, so that way she can at least have like some backup too for like next year. Y'all, I say all of this to say God is good. And sometimes, you like don't always accept no for an answer. When people say it's nothing that they can do, they're lying, or people just don't want to do. I mean, unless you've exhausted all of your resources and there is just nothing that you can do, then that's one thing. But when you don't even try, when it's just like, oh no, but this is just what it is and there's nothing that we can do, no, I don't believe that. But I'm gonna be honest, I was a little discouraged when he said that. And I was just like, thinking in my mind, like, God, no, this can't be. Like, we can't leave the school and nothing be done. It's no way, And so I'm excited about that. I just thank God for it. Let this testimony just encourage you. If somebody told you no and you know that no shouldn't be there, that it has to be something that they can do, go back again. Ask to speak to somebody else. Pray that God will link you with the right person, because that was my prayer. Like, God, link us with the right people that can help us. And so even when we got there, and he called us over, I knew he wasn't the right one, because I remember him from the last time. So I kind of knew, nah, he ain't going to be it. And I was right. He just wasn't it, y'all. But don't take no for an answer. Trust me, I know. When I was working for the credit union, y'all, I literally went the back for my clients. Like, I've seen where loans were denied. And I would pick up the phone and call up to the lending department and be like, hey, is there anything that we can do? And I've seen it go from denied to approved. So when people say, and that's why I hate when somebody tell me, oh, it's nothing that we can do, and you didn't even try. So anyway, God is good. Stand on your word, continue to have faith, continue to, just pray and just believe God, give him back his word. Give him back his word, y'all. And what I mean by that is, prophetically speak over yourself, like declare it, like, God, you said I'm the lender, not the borrower. Father, you said the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. Okay. All right, y'all, but let me go. All right, so that's it. I'm excited about it. I mean, I have so much to share, y'all, that all right, y'all, let me go. Bye.